Dependency to all. I, on behalf of SRM Management, the Director, we welcome you all for the webinar Big Data and Digital Marketing, organized by the Department of Computer Science Application, Faculty of Science and Humanities, VADAPALANI. Ignorance is the curse of God. Knowledge is the wing which we fly. I request our respected director, Dr. K. Sukuram sir, to deliver this special address.
Is it audible? Hello.
Yes, sir, it is audible,
Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, and I wish you a happy Independence Day to you all. And a distinguished guest, Dr.R.GOKULAKRISHNAN, Additional Director, Ministry of Electronics, Government of India. And we are extremely happy to have a very senior and dynamic guest here to talk about a very important topic, that is the role of big data for digital marketing. And our dean, very dynamic dean, and faculty members, beloved students. This is a very relevant topic for this current day. And then, you know, the importance of big data for digital marketing. Everywhere we are talking about digital marketing now. And this is going to be a very big change in next 1 or 2 years in the IT industry. And the purpose of this is to create the personalized campaign for these customers. And each day, the information shared digitally also increases. And this big data also provides better marketing insights. That is the purpose of this seminar also. And it is going to change a lot in industrial zone. And it helps to make more accurate and advanced marketing strategies. And there are 4 V's. That is, one is the volume, large amount of data, 1 V. The second V is the velocity, speed of the data. That is also playing important role nowadays. And the third one is the variety. That is different sources of data. And the fourth V is the veracity. That is the quality of data as well as the accuracy and trustworthiness of the data. So these are all the 4 V's we are going to give importance for this region. I mean, this topic. And then, you know, the importance of this big data is this: it's a real-time customer insight is there. And then, as I told you, personalized campaign is also useful. And I'll tell you one example that in US healthcare industry, and they are concentrating on this type of big data. And next 1 or 2 years, it is going to have a big $300 billion of investment in this area, US healthcare industry. So that is why I'm repeating this word, personalized campaign for this big data analysis, analytic. And it increases the sales for the industry and improves marketing skill. And then apart from all these things, the budget optimization is there. That is very, very important in this COVID scenario. Most of the industries, they are concentrating on budget optimization, and this big data is going to have a very big role. So this big data analysis increases, I told you, profitability of the companies or corporate, and used to identify right and related keywords to your website also. This, I think the computer people will understand, used to identify right and related keywords to this website. And it increases to discover customer needs that help you create quality content. That is very, very important in this present day scenario. How is this big data influencing your digital marketing is to understand that customer user or customer needs, and it can pull out all valuable data that can trigger your company's benefits or profit, we can say. So according to analysis, there is a predictive analysis, analytics. It is going to be a rapid growth of 36.8% of higher growth in companies in investing in predictive. That is the research data says. And apart from this, as I told you, the US industry is going to be benefited, particularly US healthcare will generate $300 billion per year by adapting this digital marketing skill using big data. And not only US healthcare industry, but also US retail will also see 60% increase in the profit, US retail. And manufacturing, even if you come to manufacturing side, manufacturing industries also will notice up to 50% decrease in product cost. That is also in another way of profit. That is, the cost of the product is decreased by 50%. So these are all the benefits. Very vital topic. We have very dynamic guest now. And with these few words, I wish you all success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing our resource person, Dr. Gokulakrishnan, Additional Director, Scientist E, Software Technology Parts of India, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India. Dr. Gokulakrishnan did his PhD in Computer Science and Engineering, and he was appointed as Deputy Director, Scientist C. Then he was promoted as Joint Director, Scientist G, and is Additional Director. He has played a vital role in various projects in Digital India initiatives in academics. He is an expert member, Board of Studies in the fields of computer science for many universities, and he has been a resource person for numerous national and international conferences and seminars. It is our privilege to have you here, sir. Over to you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much. Very nice introduction about my career. First of all, now I would like to share my happy feeling on this day morning. A happy Independence Day wishes to all. Especially, I would like to share my sincere thanks to the senior faculty like Dr. K. Subramanian and other SRM faculties given me on this opportunity on this great day of Independence Day. With this small introduction, I would like to start my presentations to the young and energetic students. So once again, my sincere thanks to the senior faculties of SRM universities. So have a wonderful day on this. Please kindly watch all the telecast by our Government of India. Thank you very much, sir. Please. Good morning, everyone. So just today we would like to discuss about the topic of big data for digital marketing. I hope all of you know very well about the database system. So very fundamental side. Actually, the digital revolutions started with the data only, right? Actually, it's derived from the informations. The information is very generic term, but the data is very computer term. So the big data, what's the fundamental meaning of the big data? Big data is nothing but it's a voluminous database. You know, the earlier days, the IT industry starts with the Fox Pro. Even though the Fox Pro done a fantastic starts during the 90s, even though 80s, the industries and governments, even the academic institutions, the great institution like SRM, just generated the huge voluminous databases. Because this voluminous databases always important for future references. Okay, so the history is always important for any country development or any organization's developments. So with this reference, just I have selected this topic, big data for digital marketing with the use of the different technology. So this big data is the latest version. Just I would like to note on this day, the data science you know, the industry 4.0 is combination of artificial intelligence, big data, and even though the AR and the VR. So, but the big data is prime. The no particular definitions for data. That is the scenario, because if any kind of the information, if, if gives some meaning, is called the data. If you are using the programs or any computer matured model, software understand models, is called the big data. I mean data, then later is accumulated like a database. Then database, how we are maintaining the database is called the database management system. Then the data warehousing scheme, now big data. This big data is absolutely related to these data centers. I hope all of you know the features of the data centers. So the fused togetherness, the technology is always the fused togetherness. This is my fundamental definitions about the technology. So the technology is not segregated. All the technology is fused togetherness, right? So the big data is the next generation of data warehousing and business analytics, and is poised to deliver top line revenues cost efficiently for enterprises. Dr. Subram very intelligently just defined about the big data. So now, just in line with his definition, just I would like to take forward. So the very simple, the deliver top line revenues. You know, in this world, always we are just targeting the revenues in a very genuine way. So the big data is the way of the technology is helping for the current generations to maintain the appropriate databases for yielding the better revenues, the cost efficiently for the particular enterprises. It has many deep roots and many branches. The majorly three parts of areas: computing perfect storm, data perfect storm, and convergence perfect storm. Just initially, I have explained about these convergences. I mean the fused togetherness. The computing perfect storm. The computing is nothing but the mathematics is the fundamental side. All the computer programs is basically derived through the mathematics, that the mathematics is converging in the form of the algorithms. Finally, these algorithms destinate in the form of the different softwares. So this computing perform means is collecting the different informations through the appropriate software. That the data perfect storm is how we are just a systemized way arranging the data. The key, that the data perfect storm through the relational database management system. You know about the relational database management system. So many RDBMS softwares available, but the dominating by the Oracle nowadays. And the convergence perfect storm, like the kind of the client server architectures always is taking the key role. Client server architecture is nothing but how the server capturing the informations from the open sources or internet sources is called the client server architectures, right? The server stores the information, the client fetching the informations from this application side finally stored. These are all the fundamental phenomena for the big data system. With this small introduction, that graph for your understanding, this pictorial representation, this globe, this entire world, since the 1900, each and every phases is targeted at some kind of the revolutions. You know, the last century, the initial phases, you know, after the First World War, the entire world is concentrated, the time concentrated the, you know, industrial revolution. The industrial revolution is means, you know, the invented the many machines, and the productions, the productivity rate is improved. The first, the initial the initial sectors is industries only. This, and later, you know, the food industries is in line with this manufacturing industries. Thereafter, you know, physics dominated like anything. You know, the people, the even once the sustained, I mean, they reached the certain level of the manufacturing industries needs after entered into the space industries. You know, about this 1950 onwards, the Russia and the US, you know, very competitive each others, and you know, done so many things. Because you may sometimes think, so what we relate with our life, this space technology, absolutely everything is related to this technology. Because one technology is reached this pinnacle part, means the rest of the technologies is in line with that that a pinnacle technology like space technology. That's the reason the ISR was started, Indian Space Research Organizations. So then 1990s, the 1990s, actually the digital revolution is started. Actually, my organization, Software Technology Parks of India, started in the year of 1990s towards promotion of the exports from this country. So the 1990s, a lot of industries, IT industry, I mean IT industries born in a small way, like a startups. You know, there is Infosys, Wipro, and you know, even our nuclear software. So many industries started, and I would like to tell you, these industries are initially worked for the relational database management system. So the relational database management system is nothing but the matured level of the database management system. If any DBMS satisfied the EF cards 12 routes, then we call the relational database management system. The relational database management system is the first factor of the modern software industries. Okay, these relational database management systems contain the many features. These features is integrating the technologies. Okay, that's the reason you see the Oracle, Sybase, Gupta SQL. That time it's very famous, Gupta SQL. This relational database management system is just worked with this client server architecture, like, you know, the tools like Visual Basic, client server architectures. That time set the client server architecture is called the, you know, the front-end, like front-end capturing the information. I told very early, like, you know, Visual Basic, Power Builder. The Power Builder, one of the fantastic guy, graphical user interface. That I am captured and strengthened the relational database management system. In meantime, lot of database is accumulated. Database accumulated. Thereafter, the IT industries done the research on the voluminous databases. These are all the history about the voluminous databases, initial the spectrum. So that voluminous database like OLAP, online analytical processing, and another one is online analytical transaction processing. So online analytical transaction processing is nothing but, you see, the facilitated the internet environment. Like, you know, definitely you understand about the internet, intranet. Okay, so this environments is captured the huge informations, is absolutely the cities created, the cities are defined through the this kind of the transactions only. Just my definitions about the city, the different cities in our country, big cities like Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, Calcutta, and Delhi, and so many annexed cities is there. But why always we are just calling cosmopolitan cities and metropolitan cities? How many transactions is happening per day? I mean the financial transaction. That city is called the bigger or biggest city. So in our concern is Mumbai is the biggest city because we just evaluated through the transaction only, especially this analytical trend. That much financial flow happening each and every day. So this data finally, you see, the solutions through the data warehousing. The data warehousing is nothing but like a huge storage point. This data warehousing then matured this through the data centers, different data centers. So these data centers are fundamentals for the data and for the big data, and this is the importance of the big data. The big data analytics are the natural result of 4 major global trends. So initially defined by the Moore's law, which basically says that technology always gets cheaper. The technology is nothing but should be in the very cheaper manner. The technology should give the solutions. Like example, for your understanding, I would like to tell you this pharmaceutical industries. Nowadays, these pharmaceutical industries, they are producing the tablets, diabetic tablets, and the blood pressure tablets, and so many tablets, right, in very cheap manner. So these tablets are produced by the manufacturing because of the maturity level of the technology. So I would like to refer this Moore's law, which basically says that technology always gets cheaper. Mobile computing, that smartphone or mobile tablet in your hand, even people are wearing the watch or not, always people are just holding their mobile for their day-to-day operations. Without a mobile, nothing will happen. But fundamentally, this mobile phone is the criteria for generating the huge data in this world, especially this Facebook, WhatsApp, and other social media, right? This generating the billions of the data per day. The cloud computing, the cloud computing is no need for any hardware, your own hardware or your own software. The volumes of data perplexed on the volumes of transactional data have been around for the decades for most big. A lot of disturbance from the US. Please, if you don't want to see our things, please leave. Don't disturbing us, right? Volumes of transactional data have been around for decades for most big firms, but the floodgates have now opened with more volume, variety, velocity, and veracity. Just our professor already explained about this volume, variety, velocity, and veracity. Anyhow, just one more time, I would like to emphasize his definition. The volume, just nothing but, the very generic definition, the amount of the data. The amount of the data is very, very important. That variety is the types of data, velocity, the frequency of data, veracity is the quality of data. Simply just I have defined. Anyhow, one more reference I would like to submit now. Could you know this railway reservation system is the biggest just a database in this world. Day to day, a lot of reservations is happening, and a lot of transaction is happening per second. Maybe during this COVID-19 situation time, this database may little taking little rest, but anyhow, the very busy and the very voluminous database and perfect database is the Indian Railway reservation system database. This 4 volume, variety, velocity, veracity is the biggest example of the very appropriate example is Indian Railway reservation system. Anyhow, just furthermore, just explanation about the value. The quantity of data that is generated is very, very important. The main characteristic that makes data big is the sheer volume. It makes no sense to focus a minimum storage unit because the total amount of information is growing exponentially every year. The data is never, set back. Always the data is accumulating the day by day, and the each and every day data is important for the future references. That's the reason is the volume is important. The volume in the sense of how we are maintaining this volume is the just primary criteria for any kind of the technology. So variety is the category of which big data belongs to is also a very essential fact that needs to know for the data analysis. So this data analysis taken place in the different methodologies. The very key methodology is called the data mining technology. I hope you know about this data mining technology. The data mining technology is nothing but KDD, knowledge discovering databases. The knowledge discovering databases means just we are targeting the particular database and taking the particular data. Example for the crime record bureau, if you want to fetch the particular information about the particular terrorist, the terrorists maybe hide their current data, but the historical data is never hide from the record. I mean the school. The intelligently the criminals are hiding their current data. I mean for the 10 years, maybe 15 years. But where actually these people are originated, that kind of the data is never hide. So data mining technology is definitely very useful for finding the just culprits and the criminals. That's the reason Government of India is maintaining these archives for the informations always. Variety is one of the most interesting development in technology as more and more information is digitalized, right? So maybe the different information is available, but how we are converting into the database format, the database format means the information is very generic. The very generic means if one particular just a policy maker or politicians, anyone speak about some information is, is very generic, but we should convert into the computer understand format. After only we can able to refer in future, right? This is called this digitalizations. The traditional database is called the structural database. The structured data is captured through the very, very traditional software system. So any kind of the software system, even though Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Fox Pro, or relational database management system, or Java, whatever it is. So it's called the structured data is maintaining by the systematic, by maintaining with any office in systematic way. So velocity is the frequency of incoming data that needs to be processed, like a Facebook, per second, the millions of the information is triggered. So absolutely maintained by the Facebook management. I mean, these people generated that kind of the intelligent software for maintaining the databases, right? So the matured level, according to meet the speed of the data. Speed of the data is called the velocity. This SMS messages. Now SMS messages is almost, nowadays is very least. But the WhatsApp, Facebook, like social media, so many social media is there. The powerful social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, like the status updates is always is incremental like anything, incremental like anything. I mean this infinity manner. The veracity is the quality of the data being captured can vary to great extent and hence does the accuracy. I told you, its accuracy is always important. Otherwise, the capturing data is meaningless. This is the quality of the data. The convergence is nothing but how this traditional data management system is refined through the analytical software and the appropriate hardware technologies. The hardware technology is very direct proportionate to the database, voluminous database system. Okay, even though simple reference to you, this if your mobile phone, is having the very good storing capacity. I mean GBs. That's the reason the mobile phone, the prices is fixed through the that space. How much GBs is accommodated for the particular mobile phone. Based on that memory space only fixed the just value of the particular mobile phone. So it's a convergence. Okay. So this IT and business executives finally is addressed through the big data analytics. Once the data is reached the beyond that particular level is called the big data analyticals. The evaluation of the data systems yearly, the dependent, independent, and interdependent. So, that fundamental phenomena for any database system is table. The table is nothing but this table is contained the very, very systematic and arranged values, right? So just a good example I would like to tell you, all of you know about the normalization procedures. The normalization is nothing but how we are categorized so categorically we are arranging the data. Normalized first normal form, second normal form, and the third normal form. This third normal form further is defined in the form of the table, rows and columns. This rows and columns is set through the primary and foreign key relationships. The primary key is one. It's related to the so many foreign keys. For example, if you want to define about particular employee, very simple example, employee ID is the primary key. Then details about the employees and details about the medical history and so many foreign keys is finally, created the big relational database management system. This is called the RDBMS. So, independent, it's the independent relational database management system. Then, same like us, big data era means not only for the connection of the tables, it's connected the different form of the databases, even though pictures and the information signal. Another further one more data I would like to just discuss with you. About this wired communication and wireless communication. The wired communication and the wireless communication is fundamental phenomena for capturing the data. You see, this wired and wireless is a physics. The through antenna we are sending and receiving the signals. The antenna is nothing but a passive device. This antenna receiving the information signal through the carrier. That is the government of India allocating the different spectrum. So the service provider like Airtel and Jio and so many service providers use the spectrums and they are streaming the databases through and just transacting the information through the information signal, right? The carrier waves is just carrying this information signal and the antenna is receiving. Then only this our digital technology is coming, is called the digital signal processing. Through the gateways, the appropriate firewalls is using by the the respective service provider, and they are controlling the transmission, controlling the transmissions. These transmissions only direct proportion is to the database system, right? Through these service providers only, the sending and the receiving the data, right? Through the routing algorithms, through the routing algorithm. And furthermore, about the ISO OSI layer. These ISO OSI layers are 7 layers are fundamental for the any information signal, transport, the information signal transport through the application layers is the software, and the rest of the layers are the like a physical layers. Rest of the layers are the physical, is called the computer networking. It's called the computer networking. I told very earlier, so we should correlate all the technologies, right? Big data means not only for studying about the database system or big data system. So we should know about the different parameters about the particular technology, right? Okay. So industries are nowadays like Verizon, Hewlett Packard, then the Wipro, British Telecom. These people are mainly using these big databases through this telecom sectors. So what is big data? The perfect definition about the big data, right? What we have discussed earlier, the extremely large data sets that may be analyzed computationally to reveal patterns, trends, and association, especially relating to human behavior and interactions, is called the basic for the big data. Big data means a collection of data sets so large and complex that it's become difficult to process using on-hand database management tools or traditional data processing applications. Okay, the collection of data. So I don't want to repeat again. Already I have explained about these factors about big data. The big data is the next generation of data warehousing and business analyticals, and is poised to deliver top line revenues cost efficiently for enterprises. So now our topic is mainly focusing this business analyticals. Later, just I would like to relate to how the digital marketing is depend these big data analyticals. The big data refers to data sets whose size is beyond the ability of typical database software tools to capture, storage, manage, and analyze. So if you want to study this big data, you should be know about the data sets, right? The data sets is very fundamental phenomena for the computer technology. So you should know about the characteristics of the any data sets. After only we can able to control the any database systems, whether this data sets is contain the numerical value or any other graphical values. So we should categorize these data sets through the respective algorithms. The perfectly the linked list, studied this linked list and the different binomial and Poisson distributions, and so many mathematical derivations are using for this technology. And one more important mathematical series is called the Fourier series. The Fourier series is nothing but the sigma minus infinity to plus infinity, and sine 0 plus cos 0. The sine 0 is nothing but this 0. Cos 0 means I think 1. The ones and 0 combination is called the digital train. This digital train gives the immense meaning. Everything is finally set in the form of ones and 0. So industries are using these Fourier technologies for the digital signal processing. I mean the just caption I told very early, like this waves, any radio waves. The radio waves only capture the the radio waves only carrying the any information technology. Finally, through the gateways, converting in the digital technology. This digital technology absolutely using the Fourier series related just mathematical derivation like algebra and other differentiations and further integrations for the algorithm developments. For algorithm developments, these algorithms are only just to give the appropriate software tools to capture the store and manage and analyze the particular data. Just very early, just one more time, just I would like to emphasize, the ERP, enterprise resource planning, is started in this 1980s. Actually, the IT industries started with this MRP, material requirement planning. The material requirement planning is a matured stage, is called the ERP, enterprise resource planning. In 1990s, some ERP, enterprise resource planning, still is dominating in this world IT industries. Example like SAP, the SAP, simply we call SAP, SAP, BON, BWAN, BON, PeopleSoft, and Oracle Financial. Anyhow, this BON and PeopleSoft were PeopleSoft now little outdated. Maybe some people, some traditional manufacturing industries are using the PeopleSoft, especially for HR related softwares. But the SAP, SAP, and Oracle Financial is so many versions is accumulated year on year. Now is strengthening the database. Voluminous database that characters like big data is depend this SAP and Oracle Financial. The SAP for the manufacturing, the Oracle Financial, just this very direct meaning that fintech related financial technology area. And the CRM is called the customer relationship management. The one of the key tool is called the CBL, used in the 1990. Now the supply chain management in the now different format. There's so many adopted softwares is developed by the Microsoft, especially for CRM. You know about the e-commerce. Now the e-commerce is dominating like anything. The fundamental e-commerce like the B2B and B2C nowadays is B2 business to customer like Amazon and so many, even though farmers are nowadays using this e-commerce technology, they are benefiting, not using, benefiting through these e-commerce technologies. Now this e-commerce technologies is important for the big data analysis. After 2010, the big data analysis is the important part in this current scenario. Now the big data analytics is the key topic. In future also big data analytics will take the place. Why I referred this past history, this big data analytics always, refer this 1980s data also data. We should not tell data. Many times all the people just committed the mistakes. Data is plural. Datum is singular. So this the one small just my note about data. So this data, big data, always refer the historical databases. The historical databases is the structured way and presenting into this big data analytical form. So the wide variety of data I told you, internet data and the primary research like surveys, experiments and observation, secondary research and location data, image data, supply chain data and device data. So these are all the very broad area for the data system or data science. So internet data only is dominating, is categorized way is number one. This internet data only happening every now. Now I am discussing with you. Just I am presenting about some big introduction about the big data. This spectrum is like a video content. This video content further subset of the informations about my topic and our senior Dr. Subramanian sir yearly just define something. So these are all the base for the data mining techniques. The data mining techniques. So it will designate into the any related associated big data spectrum. Big data spectrum. So big data involves these different devices and applications. So some below some fields which can generate the big data, social sites data, search engine data, and medical history data. This medical history is very, very important. This point also yearly he emphasized, our Dr. K. Subramanian sir. So medical history is always important. Just this time COVID-19, now this pandemic time, we are very much struggled because of this COVID-19. But this entire world is now try to give the solutions for the COVID-19 through the appropriate research. I mean, these lakhs and lakhs of research outputs coming day by day about from the COVID-19. These informations are essential for any kind of the research on COVID-19. So this medical history always, even the medical history refer the earlier medical histories like SARS virus, Ebola viruses. So now, they're correlating all the medical history. One very pathetic story about our country, even the globe, even 1990s, our country faced the, the huge trouble. This now is Chennai is very big, 3 parliamentary constituencies, just rest of the 2 constituencies also affiliated with this Chennai cities. But at that time, the Chennai population rate is 50 lakhs only, maybe 1990s. But 5 lakhs people died during this 1910s, I think I read sometime before. That much these viruses attacked and killed the people. Now people is talking about the viruses, not only these researchers. I mean the pharma researchers, the biotechnology people, those people done a study on these fast viruses, how they killed, because whether the characteristics is match with this COVID-19 or not. That's the reason, the Bharat Biotech somewhat arrived. Now the trials is going on. Why I would like to tell you, this medical history data is that much important for analytical. So these medical researchers always depend the computer researchers. I mean this analyst, the data scientist, for their research. So this is simple definitions about the medical history data. Rest of the data, social sites data and search engine data. So these are all our definitions about the wider data. That online shopping data, stock exchange data, and vehicle booking data, aviation data. I hope you understand about this data, right? So why I just pointed this for the industries in Chennai, with respect to these travel industries, not only for the aviation, even those other SaaS software and services. These industries is defined this kind of the aviation data, and they are yielding the money. I mean the export revenues from the foreign countries, right? So stock exchange data is another important phenomena for any country development. The day by day we are watching the stock, whether we are just knowing about the share market values or impact of the share market value, but the stock exchange data only just determine the one country GDP growth. So the stock exchange data is depends these analyticals. big data analyticals. So online informations like tweets, blogs, and wall postings. The tweets are somewhat very good. The tweets are somewhat the 80% of the tweets are contain the right informations, but the Facebook only contain the 30% of the right. I mean the valid informations. And the video data is very very important. You see this video data like CCTV nowadays taking place of the CCTV footages only finding the any kind of the criminal activities. So the video data, I mean the CCTV captures also the key factor for the big data analysis. And the voice data. The police department and other protection agencies like NIA, National Investigation Agencies, they are tracking the voice data. That voice data also historically maintained by the people. The life sciences, the relate with the COVID-19 genome, the human genome and other research project. Data is growing, like this one definition. The end of the 2020, 44 trillion GP of data would be accumulated in the end of the 2020. Facebook users send around 31.25 million messages and watch 2.77 million videos every second. Maybe this numbers is going high, but I have captured through the authenticated sites and the information. So 40,000 search queries are performed on Google per second. It accounts to 3.46 million searches every day and 1.2 trillion each year, right? The COVID-19 pandemic is a big data analytical issue because now lot of work from home options, even though people are sitting inside the houses, and absolutely the entire globe is now operating through the digital technology only. In our office day to day, we are certifying the software. Softex means software exports. After only the industries may realize their money through the banks. I mean, we are evaluating and evaluating their software exports. I mean the genuine certification like RTO certification for the driving license. So, by surprise, this quarter, more than 16,000 crores export performing from this Chennai jurisdiction. I mean Tamil Nadu, including Pondicherry. This compared with the previous year quarter, it's more. I mean, more than 15% of the productivities happen. Later, our office is interacted with the software industries people, top management. The productivity is increased because of their, lifestyle now. They are avoiding travels. Morning 1.5 hour travels, evening 1.5 hour travels. By average, it's 1.5 hours travels. Now they are sitting inside home very happily. They are drinking coffee, tea, juices, and they are working with their software coding. That's the reason. And this psychologically they are living with their kids. That's the reason the productivity is increased like anything nowadays. People thinking capacity also. Very fair, no any hidden, agenda in their mind. Just they are concentrating only their software development. These are all the just simple analysis. So this COVID-19 anyhow is a negative, no doubt about it. But these are all the some positive side about the COVID-19. Though, so big data analytics is well suited for tracking and controlling the spread of COVID-19. The Arogya Setu is introduced by our government of India, our Ministry of Electronics and IT. The lot of precautionary measures anyone may adopt through this Arogya Setu. If you install this Arogya Setu app, you may just understand the spread of the COVID-19, right? I hope all of you using this Arogya Setu just app. So government always just focusing through this kind of the analysis. So this data is primary factor for the analyticals. So advanced analytical techniques, deeper insights, broader insights, and frictional actions. Rather than looking at segment classifications, regions, groups, or other summary levels, you will have insight into all the individuals, all the products, all the parts, all the events, and all the transaction is called the deeper insight. Deeper insights means activities. You know, one simple example I would like to tell you, you and me are man or woman. About our activities, what we are doing from morning to evening, that are the informations, that are the information only, how we are related with this society. So how there's a chain of relationship, it gives us chain of reactions. This chain of reaction is produce the data. This data is whether positively impact the society or negatively impact the society. These are all the fundamental phenomena for the deeper insights and the broader insight. Broader insights means about the particular organizations, right, or particular locations or institutions. The frictional action in the increased reliability and accuracy. You know, the advanced analyticals, I hope all of you studied in your academic career. But anyhow, I would like to SQL analytics like count, mean, and OLAP, and descriptive analytics, innovate distribution, central dependency, dispersions, and the data mining is association rule, clustering, and future extractions. So data mining techniques is absolutely related to this database system. And the predictive analysis nothing but the aspirational level, the classification, regression, forecasting, spatial, machine learning, text analytics. Simulation is, you know, the mathematical method, the Monte Carlo method, agent-based modeling, and discrete event modeling, and optimizations, linear optimization, non-linear optimizations. Here it is, all these things is, right, absolutely need the mathematics knowledge. So my simple suggestions or advice to you, just if you are master in this area, you will become a very good data scientist. So you could just strengthen your career in this field. You just take the deeper analysis for the SQL analytics, descriptive analytics, and if you want to enter into this data mining, these are all the fundamental factors for the mathematics knowledge. Model to improve operational efficiencies and increase revenues. So the statistical analysis, predictive analysis, data mining, business analyticals, and web analyticals are the prime factor for the big data analyticals. Under the file systems, distributed file systems, SQL databases, grid computing, cloud computing, and produce and other new paradigm, large scale, and machine learning. So these are the 10 already. Just we have discussed about these areas, but anyhow, these are all the technical terms for your understanding. So the enterprise management and the maintaining the big data are going to have more accurate and advanced strategic marketing decision. Now just we are entering into these final phases of the digital markets, because my topic is here big data for the digital marketing. You know this, what you mean by the marketing? Marketing is nothing but understanding the customer behavior. If you understand the customer behavior, we may launch our product and finally we will own the market. So The marketing is evergreen. Always the marketing is evergreen. But the marketing is evergreen, but the technology may change year on year. So this marketing strategies is depends the particular demographical and psychographical. The demographical means the location based information, and the psychographical means how the particular demographic, the particular people just mindset, particular people mindset. So many positive and negative impacts for the particular product. You see this Coca-Cola and Pepsi, the biggest brand in this world. The Pepsi and Coke, their marketing strategies is exemplifying for the big data analyticals. You know, the big data, the Pepsi and Coke's always traveling together, but they are competitors. So, but these two people, each and every sectors, I mean the region-wise analysis, these people are taking care. After only these people are still they are sustaining in this market. You know about lot of campaign against this Pepsi and Coke, even though all the Western foods, now the organic stores is competitive. This organic stores also taking the big leads. So so many the trials were taking by this the Pepsi and the Coke, but they are countering the competitors. This countering the competitors to the big data analyticals, and the big data analyticals fundamentally need the informations. I mean the very basic information. So big data plays a key role in digital market strategy. So these simple pictorial representations for your understanding about the marketing strategies. Okay, so you may simply understand through these pictures how the software industries people are taking the the micro level analysis through their strategies, through the different strategies. These strategies absolutely through the database systems. Now, big data helps an enterprise to understand their customers, service provider to utilize the data in more innovative and stable way when designing a product for potential customer. As the world becomes the more digital, enterprise have enormous data to deal with. Big data pulls out all the valuable data that can trigger company benefits finally. So I don't want to just spend much about this slides. The big data plays a key role in the digital market strategy. If you read each line, it gives the different meaning. So anyhow, this I will share these presentations to you. You may understand the meaning of the different lines. Now, this role of big data in digital marketing, real-time customer insights. So improves the efficiency of the marketing campaign finally. The rest of the parameters like budget optimization, measuring the campaign results more accuracy, increasing the sales personal. This like a life cycle. It's like a life cycle of any marketing. This marketing is needs the information collection. This data using the different tools for processing the strategies. I mean the processing the strategies, and finally submit to the management in the form of reports. For the decision making purposes. So according to the research and the market for global cognitive computing is expected to reach 20 billion by end of the 2020. And the personalized targeting is also the one of the key topic for the big data analytics. As marked by the researchers, one of the notable value brought by big data in the digital marketing is that marketers saw a decline in their expenses, plus be able to increase their product development process, right? So the marketing strategies not only for finding the difficulties for the existing businesses, further how they are improving the current market with the use of the technology is also the important criteria. So I would like to skip, right? The future of the digital marketing, according to the International Data Corporation's IDC report, total revenues from big data and business analytical will rise from 187 billion in 2019 to 200 billion in 2020. These are the rough, not a rough estimate. It's a well calculated estimated, but they reached 187 billion in the year 2019. The enterprises are going to evidence a lot of investment in big data in the coming year, because one big example I would like to tell you about the big data. The some years before, our American President Donald Trump won the election, but everyone expected in different, most of the people. But finally, our Honorable Trump won the election because he adopted the big data analyticals. One of our Indian, basically from this Andhra Pradesh, and his team conducted the huge big data analysis. I mean, a survey about. He collected the informations about the local issues, right? So whenever or wherever the Trump is going to the particular places, I mean the downtrodden places, downtown, called downtown, just that time he spoke about the respective the demographic, respective locations issues, and he given the promises for the particular issues. This worked out a lot, and finally, the Trump won the elections. Why I am telling, not only in United States of America, in our country also, you see so many business parties. I don't want to name. It's not a right forum to naming the parties, but any party in India, a lot of case studies about their winning strategies, or try to win the strategy, even winner or loser. These people these people are appointed that the software industries, especially these big data oriented industries, for winning strategy, for setting the roadmap for the winning strategy. So that much penetrated into the political spectrum, apart from the marketing strategies. Apart this kind of the marketing strategies only, understanding the people behavior, mindset. So people behavior. This behavior is absolutely related to the cultures, their financial conditions, and the rest of the philosophies. So many parameters is there. So again, the US healthcare will generate the 300 billion value per year. The US because in US everywhere everything is through this insurance only. The US retail will see 60% of increase in their net margin. Manufacturing industries will notice up to 50% of decrease in product development and assembly. So you may think why this person is always referring this US, because our exports is mainly depend this US market only, majorly 60%. The rest of the 40% only through the rest of the countries like UK and Gulf. So this IT industry is very traditional and very genuine. This relationship integrity with this US market, right? All the IT industries in our countries majorly yielding through the US market only. So big data has raised the opportunities for organization to use data to track benefits, customers, and the company's activities across the world. According to New Vantage Partners Big Data Executive Survey, 48.4% of the corporate executives say that the firm has achieved a measurable result from their big data investment. So what are the importance for the big data techniques? The big data technique including the market and the customer insight and the predictive analysis. Content marketing communities, branded niche, vertical communities, conversion rates, optimization, display, IoT, Internet of Things, and the market automation, including CRM, behavior, email marketing, and the web personalization. If you are seeing the particular YouTube presentation by any person, a lot of advertisement, even this Facebook also. No, marketing is now, before the 10 years before, the marketing means through the television advertisement and the paper advertisement now completely changed. Now they are targeting the individuals. No, so these are all the generic. One thing I would like to notice to you, all of you are computer science engineers. You should understand the technology behind that. That much opportunities is in front of you. So not only the philosophy, what I am telling is for it's like a data to you. This data is just combining the so many technologies. My presentations made the fundamental agenda is you should understand the technology. These are the some introduction only. You don't think it's not an in-depth discussion about the big data, right? This introductions about the big data for understanding the technology behind that. So mobile marketing, paid search marketing, and online PR, partnership, including affiliated and co-marketing, search engine optimization, social media marketing, and the wearables. These are all the techniques, marketing, digital marketing techniques. And marketing plays a significant role in the source of and the success of any business that offers a relationship between customer and organization. Hence, it is very important to have strong marketing strategies to understand the market, competitors, customers, and others parameters. It's a companies so need to focus on the big data. So how marketers can use big data for digital marketing success? Understanding of target audience, creating of marketing campaign, price optimization, better idea of competition, and insight for industry conditions. So this is a new school marketing. One very good slide speaks about the email, mobile, social, and web. The four parameters for the new school marketing. And this another digital marketing parameters are sentiment analysis, product recommendation, target emails, more targeted ads, predictive analytics, price optimization, data collections, and volumes. So this pictorial representation all further emphasize the big data and the digital marketing, the crucial elements to grow your business, like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams, and other social medias, WhatsApp mainly. So these are all the front-end side. The people are using. These people are, like sending the data, whether knowing or unknowingly, they are the root cause for the voluminous database. This voluminous database is only useful for the marketers. I mean, through the digital marketing. You know very well this big topic is going on. Google, they are just holding the individual informations. WhatsApp holding the individual informations. So maybe right or wrong, but if we are using the particular applications, is very direct proportionate. We are using the WhatsApp, definitely WhatsApp server hold your information because you are agreeing to use the particular app. Then these app people are, because the free of cost only, then these app people are using your information for their just revenue yielding technology. So these are all the genuine only. One thing only you should understand, we should not share our banking information and other secured information. You know about your secured information about your family. So social media only for interchanging or exchanging the very general communications only. So where processing is hosted distributed server. Now the technical side I would like to tell you the distributed servers like a cloud. Example for Amazon EC2, and the where data is stored, the distributed storage is Amazon S3. What is the programming model? Distributed processing, map, reduce, and the tools. These are all the tools for understanding, because early we discussed about the some kind of the just macro level information. Now the informations how we are categorizing with the use of the particular tools. These are the general side. Rest of things is philosophy now, right? So 1 minute. Because someone is draw something. So what is programming model? Distributing process, map, reduce. How data is stored as indexed is the MongoDB. So MongoDB is one of the great big data tool. So Cloudra also the very popular tool nowadays people are using. So you could study about the Cloudra VM. Is now the major customers are Nokia, Qualcomm. Qualcomm is a very good, the ship just carrier goods people. And the top 10 big data visualization tool like Fusion chats and Fusion chats, the different versions, ClickView, Tipago Spotfire, Watson Analytics, Seasons, Tableau, Data Wrapper, Infogram, Plotly. Just if you are studying any one of these visualization tools, you will become a very good big data analyst. And Hadoop is a very good the big data analysis data, the methodology, and Hive, Spark, and Data Lake, NoSQL. So these are all the another analytical tools. So open source big data tools in the 2019 is including this Hadoop. So technology is radically changing the way data is produced, processed, analyzed, and consumed. So after I will share this architecture, you may understand this architecture. These are the very base and fundamental for the understanding the big data. So Hadoop is a framework to process big data. This framework that enables you to store and process large data sets in parallel and distribution base. So Hadoop is the very, very important relate to the big data framework. And the Hadoop distributed file system takes care of storage part of Hadoop architectures. So further, you could study about the Hadoop. The Hadoop is the open source software framework. You may easily understand about the framework. So Hadoop is consists of the two Hadoop MapReduce and the Hadoop distributed file system. This Hadoop distributed file system only important to take care of the storage part of the any application, big data applications. And I don't want to spend much of your time. So Hadoop is like a distributed file system. So further popular big data Hadoop tools are you see Talend, data storing tool, data mining tool, data analyzing tool, and data integrations tool. So I would like to conclude. Big data is a powerful tool that makes things easy in various fields, as I said above. So we have discussed about the big data and the importance of the big data. Later, I have introduced the framework and the related the big data tools. So these are all my small introductions about the big data analysis, how the big data is important for the digital marketing, because hereafter everything mainly focused through the digital marketing only. So if you want to become a very good software engineer, you should choose this big data for your career. So these are all my intentions today to project about the big data for digital marketing. Why I referred this the application side like marketing. The marketing is evergreen, so this marketing always depends any kind of the technology. This big data analytics is the important and very appropriate for the marketing. And I also referred the so many real-time cases for you. So my um, sincere and heartfelt appreciation to everyone that watched my session. So my email ID is r.gokul at stpi.in. So if you want anything, you could please uh, just mail to me. Later, I would like to interact with you for understanding all the things. Further, I would like to tell you something. Our organizations recently, promoted the incubation scheme. You want to become a very good entrepreneur. If you have a very good problem statements, if you have a good knowledge for the just product development, I mean the good knowledge in this software development, you could approach us. Our office ready to give the 25 lakhs initial seed funding to you, and also the free of cost for the just plug and play kind of the facilities to you, right? So government of India is very proactive. Even though state government also, we ready to incubate the young entrepreneurs, right? After your graduations, you could come to meet us, right? We will give the very good guidance to you. Not only me, my colleagues also will give. My director, Dr. Sanjit is a proactive person, and my director general, Dr. Omkar Rai, and the senior director, Devesh Tagi, all are just always they are working for the national software products. Nowadays currently we are using the Microsoft Sun Microsystem, Oracle Financial, and other foreign softwares only. It means we are generating the money for their goodness. Instead, we should create our own softwares. It's called the software product. That's the reason Government of India released the National Software Product Policy. Its main intentions indigenous. I mean, our Indian product. This Indian product definitely will lead the world in near futures. So you are a key young people for the future India. So on this Independence Day, my wishes and my blessings to all the young people who are all watching my presentations. If and one more thing, if you found anything wrong in my presentation, kindly notice to me. I will rectify, and also further I will interact with you. Finally, I would like to thank to Dr. K. Supraman, very patiently watched my lecture for past 1 hour, and Murali Anand and the rest and Mr. Anand Padmanabhan Dean and the rest of the faculties. SRM is a very good institution. My association with SRM is very, very long. Our Dr. Muttamil Selvan is my great friend. Even though I am a doctoral committee member of this SRM Institute and also adjunct professor of the SRM Institute. All the best to Uri. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your inspiring speech about big data. And I'm sure that our participants have benefited through your speech, sir. Now, actually, we can move for the question sessions. Participants, you can post your questions in the chat box. Now, actually, the chat box will be open to you. You can post the questions inside the chat box.
Murlan, sir, you got a question there. Yeah.
Okay, questions are getting sir. One participant asking, could you explain on whether we can apply the map reduce algorithm inside this?
What's that?
Actually, can we apply...
what my request to you, sir? Just you could note down my email ID r.gokul@stpi.in, right? You post all your queries to me. Just I will send the appropriate answers to the respective questions to the persons, right, sir?
Okay, sure, sir.
Right, always may interact with me, right? It's not appropriate to give through the philosophy, right?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Now you could collect the just questions and any kind of the queries from the students, right, sir? So we will clearly document all the things. We will refer the respective just information data. All right. We will reply with the appropriate information. Right.
Okay, sir.
Apart from any generic questions related to their promotions, may ask them now.
Sir, actually, I do have some personal questions, sir.
Yeah.
Will digital market affect the small scale industries, sir? Actually, now all of the things are growing as digital marketing. So, is there any cause that will affect the small scale industries?
The small scale industries in which sectors?
Apart from ITs or anything?
No. Actually, technologies always, the generate the employment only. It's never affect anyone businesses. Big example I would like to tell you. Recent time you could take the analysis. So many farmers is adopted the online trading now, especially this COVID-19. You see, this online I mean e-commerce like Big Basket. So many just platform apps is developed by the IT industries. I mean youngsters like good thinking people and approached the farmers. And now the farmers are benefited through the app, I mean the technology. Now they are selling their vegetables, especially organic, with this very good rate. Okay, not only for this our farmers, even though these sanitizers, organic sanitizers to the even the small scale industries like so all the industries, even though part. So one thing I would like to tell you, the people like good youngsters, I mean people who are all just gained the knowledge, I mean engineers or other graduates should bridge between the technology and the needy people, right? Then we will yield the very good just revenue. Yes. So this is not like any kind of the very macro level answer. It's just this is absolutely just I have watched for the past 3 months. I am just you see one rice community. Rice community is farmers associations with the help of the some good mentality people like youngsters. These people are bridge between the farmers and the customers like me. Now I am just ordering through this app only, right? They're getting good yield. So technology is always giving a good one. For example, IT industries, sir very well know. Before 1990s, for big building means only LIC building. After 90s, so many buildings. It's like a direct employment as well as the indirect employment. Now entire Chennai depends this IT industry only. Even though the roadside banana merchant now the selling the per banana is 10 rupees. It's not possible, right? So good, direct. I would like to tell you more than 3 lakhs people are, working in this Chennai alone. And the indirect employment is three times more, 9 lakhs. So 10 lakhs people are getting benefits. 10 lakhs means a very huge employment through these IT industries only. The SRM institutes, through the campus interview, how many people are recruiting. Okay. So technologies maybe some initial time gives some questions, but the latest technology always, it gives the immense benefits and employment opportunities to the society. This is my
Thank you very much, sir.
nice. So I read some information is very generic information only.
Okay, sir.
So I would like to share my presentation. You just distribute to all. If
Sure,
you
sir,
need
sure.
anything, I will tell. Right, sir?
Okay, sir.
Right, sir. So anything further?
Actually, I take this opportunity to thank the resource person for sharing the abundant knowledge to us, management, director, and the dean for giving this opportunity. A special thanks to our technical staff, Mr. Mahesh, and the webinar team members. Thank you all for the participation. Thank you very much, sir.
Nice of you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, go ahead, sir. Vivek, sir.